Okay, everyone, so quick impromptu video here because Blizzard has posted a PTR update on the Thursday, and you're already seeing the title. We have Demon Hunter changes. It's just Havoc. No, so Vengeance, you can go off if you don't care. But we have Havoc changes. Now, don't get your hopes up. It's not a lot, but it is something. So we'll scroll down and we will talk about it a little bit. So here they are. We have 3 lines of text. So the first one, serrated glaive now causes enemies hit by throw glaive to take 20% increased damage from Chaos Strike in addition to its current effect. There's a few things we don't know about this because the PTR is not up yet, so I will be doing future videos giving you guys an update on these things. Basically, serrated glaive was a talent where throw glaive would cause enemies to take 20% increased damage from I-beam. Now, this effectively worked out to just be a worse Blind Fury, because Blind Fury just caused I-beam to always increase its damage and also give you some fury. So we never take serrated glaive. With this change, I don't think it's that big. We might end up seeing serrated glaive being worked into some single target builds now, or maybe into AMN builds as like a bit of a prio damage / single target increase. Because with this, Chaos Strike, if it's by 20%, then it's like pretty good. A 40% increase will be crazy. Because you can have this on pretty high uptime, especially with haste. So that's going to be interesting. I don't know what you give up for it, especially since like right now our point that's the easiest to give up is looks can kill, but looks can kill is kind of needed for the tier set. We'll get into that in a little second. I'm going to pull up a tree and we'll talk about it. But it's an interesting change. It definitely makes the talent much more interesting. I'm not sure if it's going to fully change like what our builds are doing and things like that. But it definitely is a bit more of an interesting conversation now on serrated glaive instead of being a talent you'd never take. This next one, accelerating blade, has been renamed to accelerated blade. Big change. Wow, that's an insane buff. And then finally, Accelerated Blade now causes Throw Glaive to deal 60% increased damage, was 20%, and its damage is reduced by 30% for each previous enemy hit. So Accelerated Blade, or used to be called Accelerating Blade, whatever, AB, the talent, was taken in AMN left-right builds because it would amp your Throw Glaive to 3 targets. So the first one would be 20%, and then the second target would be 40%, and the third target would be 60%. And this did cause some situations where you'd want to swap to a less prio target so that the glaive would bounce onto a prio target, which is fine. But what it does now is that it just deals a flat 60% increased damage to the first target, deals 30% increased damage to the second target, and 0% increased damage to the last target. So this is a buff in 1 target and 2 target situations, and a nerf in 3+ target situations, which is okay. We definitely had some room to lose in AoE. We were still pretty fine there. It's not going to be a very notable. It's like 20% on this talent, which isn't going to be like the craziest thing ever, because it does give us more prio and single target damage in AMN left-right builds. But overall, you'll probably not notice too big of a difference. It is like first read, it does come off as a bit of a nerf. Overall, probably won't be that big of a difference because you will be doing more to bosses and prio targets, so that'll be useful. But I think the biggest issue with these changes is it doesn't really help what we're trying to do, right? Like, it doesn't help the issues Havoc is having. Like, yes, these are good changes for throw glaive based builds, and of course I'm talking right now before we actually see a lot of testing or sims or stuff like that. So things could change. We could see some new builds come out of this. I'll keep you guys updated. But we're not really seeing a lot of changes to things we want to see. So I'm going to pop over to a talent tree, and we'll continue the discussion there because I want to just kind of highlight some stuff. Okay, so I've popped over to the talent tree, and we actually have received confirmation from Reels, the Demon Hunter dev, between when I recorded the first clip and this clip, which is literally in the last like 30 seconds. So we know that Serrated Glaive is going to read enemies hit by Throw Glaive take 10% increased damage from I-beam and Chaos Strike. So at 1 point it's 10%, at 2 points it's 20%. So overall, what are my thoughts on these changes? So I think realistically, my thoughts on these changes are that they're good. It's a bit of a buff to kind of glaive builds, but I don't think this fixes any of our issues. So I'm going to just build out like a left-right build here, just for like a talking point about what we're currently kind of playing. This up here. Oop, come down here. Do this. So this is going to end up still being probably our M+ build. I'm not sure you're actually going to take Serrated Glaive and M+, but what you're going to have is a bit of more control over Accelerating Blade at the expense of a bit of AoE damage, which is okay. I don't think it necessarily needed to be nerfed to get this quality of life change where you can prio cleave something and do a bit of an off cleave, which does fit Havoc's profile better. You know, instead of the anti-prio thing that we had going on, where you want to target a worse enemy. But overall, it is weird that it is a bit of a nerf in those 3 target situations. Again, stronger on 1 target, stronger on 2 targets, worse on 3 targets by about 20%. It depends how they incorporate the glaive damage. We're not sure yet. PTR isn't up, but I'll bring those changes when they come, of course. But there's not really a way in AoE to fit serrated glaive into your build. Not really any way to work this in. Now, if I unclick all these things and go over to a bit more of a single target build that we currently have, which would be something like this, we actually have a point here to throw into something. I guess we have IP, right? And then we come down, we grab all this stuff, boom, 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 and boom there. So in this kind of build, it's not really any change is going to happen, right? But you could potentially drop out something, maybe like a demonic appetite, pick up serrated glaive, or you could drop out looks can kill, pick up serrated glaive. So serrated glaive definitely could end up being taken. Of course, we don't have sims yet. Whenever we have sims, I'll talk about it and stuff like that. But my issue with this kind of build looking like this is that looks can kill is going to be very important with our tier set because it's all I-beam damage. And then on top of that, we're losing a lot of fury if you drop demonic appetite. To pick up serrated glaives, which will clutter our rotation a lot. We don't really have a lot of globals to throw out stuff like throw glaive. Now maybe with the loss in fury generation from demonic appetite, we could very well like see ourselves move into something like that. But right now, as it stands, we don't have globals, ample globals to throw out those glaives. Maybe you drop a point in blind fury instead to pick that up, and you keep one of these two, because I guess you don't really need both of these. It'll be weird for sure. But they're interesting changes. They're changes that's not like, oh, right off the bat, oh, I know this is going to be strong, or I know this is going to be weak. It's stuff that can definitely see us changing things up a little bit. Now, there's memes about a left-right build, which would be something like this. Sorry, a mid-right build for single target, which would be something like this. Like this, maybe, and this. That seems bad, but it'd be something like this on the right side, where you pick up these points here to kind of increase your single target damage. Probably could drop something to come grab know your enemy as well. Unsure what, but it'd be like 1 point. So there's definitely maybe an interesting thing on the right side with glaive stuff and single target, but the right side mid-right builds are already so far behind left-right that I don't really think we'll see a lot of like gain there. So I don't know. It'll be interesting overall for sure. I'll go back to this here. We'll see what comes of this. The biggest issue though is it's not fixing what the issues are, right? Like our issues are our single target damage in raid, and this doesn't change that. This is entirely at like throw glaive things. It might end up being a bit of a gain for serrated glaive in single target, but at this moment in time, that's uncertain. Even then, I don't think it'll be enough to kind of take us out of the issue we're in. Now, of course, there might be some more changes coming. This could just be the start. Although it's a little worrying that we're seeing it 2 weeks out from the release of the next raid, next tier. So again, you know, is what it is. I'm kind of in the middle of these changes. They're very nice. They're not, I don't think they're that large. They're a bit of quality of life, maybe a bit of a build refinement issue. But I don't think it's really fixing the problems we have. All the rest of the stuff is just M plus and PvP, so we're not going to cover that, but that's kind of it for the Havoc changes for this build. If something develops over the weekend, I'll try and do a video Monday or something like that about further changes. But for that video, it's going to be it for me today. So if you enjoyed it, drop a like, comment down below what you think about these changes, and hit the sub button if you really enjoy stuff. So with that, I'll catch you guys all next time. Peace.